However big the company is or however small the company is, the starting point's got to be a sort of game of what if, the risk assessment side of it. So you've got to look actually pretty dispassionately at your own business and to say, what do we have that's valuable? And there's a danger, I think, that people look at headlines and they look at, the likes of attacks on Google or RSA or LinkedIn, and they think, we're not a big company, so we don't have the same problem to worry about. But actually, companies can be used as stepping stones to get to big companies. And, if you do business with somebody else, then you could be the weakest link leading into their organization. So I think that game of what if, what's valuable, what corporate information do we have, intellectual property, what links do we have to other companies, that's really important. Having looked at what people might want to get out of your organization, you then have to extend that to how would they go about setting up an attack. And from that, you then need to look at, well, what technology do we need to employ? And actually, what policies do we need to employ in terms of password advice, in terms of, I suppose, trying to manage the people as well as managing the computing resources. And from there, you then map out your overall policy. And it's got to be reviewable because we're in such a fast changing environment as far as technology goes that what goes for now might not go in 12 months' time. So it has to be reviewable, I think. I mean, the issue of where responsibility lies for managing security policy or security strategy is really important. I think if we look at the role of the CISO, in many ways that developed because of a recognition that security had to come out of the sort of niche of IT, and really there needed to be engagement with the wider business. And I think that's pretty critical, because unless we have security across the curriculum, if you like, where everybody has a responsibility and that's recognised, there's always going to be a potential limit. I mean, going back to what we discussed earlier about social engineering, that highlights the fact that everybody has a responsibility for keeping the business secure. So I think the strategy may be hammered out by the IT department, but there really must be that engagement with the business. And if we look at the ramifications of a breach, of an attack on an organisation, they're not all technical. There's the damage to the reputation of the business. Now that's got to involve really the PR department. It's got to involve perhaps the CEO or other people on the board in how do you respond to that. If there's a breach of data, do we declare that to the people concerned, to the customers, to our partners? Again, that probably has to be a board decision. So I think, one piece of advice I would give that as part of a corporate strategy would be to actually have a team. And it's not all IT people, but it needs to be HR, it maybe need to be the legal department as well, it needs to be sales and marketing. In other words, get everybody to buy into it so that you periodically look at reviewing the overall policy and actually look at things as far afield as how do we deal with the press if there's a breach, right through to what technologies are appropriate to manage the risk. Mm.